help you with some of the things people are most commonly getting wrong for significant figures. Okay, the first one is how to use significant figures when doing a conversion problem. You still need to consider significant figures, but you don't have to consider your conversion factor as part of your significant digits. So, for example, if I was going to take 7.1 inches and make that into feet, I'm going to multiply by a conversion factor of inches to feet. For every 1 foot, I have 12 inches. Okay. Please notice the fact that this is a multiplication sign, not an equal sign. I'm seeing that a lot. And then I'm using a conversion factor with units. If all you did was put 1 over 12 here, you would get this wrong. If I take 7.1 divided by 12, I get an answer in my calculator of 0.591, and then repeating sixes, so let's just say it's 7. Okay. That's the right answer, but it's not the right number of significant figures. What I need to do is go back to the beginning, and however many significant figures was here at the start is how many I have to round my final answer to. So since 7.1 is 2 significant figures, I round this to 2 significant figures. You don't have to consider this 1 or this 12 when counting how many significant figures to round to. What goes in comes out in terms of numbers. Addition and subtraction continue to trip people up. So a couple examples for you. If I'm adding these two numbers, 12.37 and 5.43, you're just going to add them up right in a row. And that's what I get for an answer. And then you have to consider significant figures. So a lot of people are going, oh, this has 3. So I have to round my answer to 3, but that's not right. Because for adding and subtracting, you round based on the least precise number. Since both of these numbers are known to the hundredths, you can keep to the hundredths. So this final answer is actually the whole thing that I got out. Let's say that this number had more digits. I wouldn't keep the 5 and the 9 because this 5.43 is only known to the hundredths, so it only report to the hundredths. Another addition and subtraction problem that's continuing to trip people up is when you add and subtract and nothing changes. So for example, if I'm adding those two numbers together, I get this. And then people are trying to round at the end, which you're supposed to do. This number has 2 significant figures, meaning it's only known to the 100 location. You don't know this tens and you don't know this ones. You don't know what it is. So you cannot report the tens and the ones in your final answer. You're going to round to the hundreds because this is only known to the hundreds. So this one won't have you round up. So this is your final answer, which is the same as what you had at the beginning. When you're adding and subtracting not very precise numbers, you don't get very precise answers. Okay. So the 3 rules again. If you have a number that doesn't have a decimal point, okay, then essentially the zeros at the end are not significant. Everything else is measured, okay, but the 0 is not. If you see a decimal point and your number is greater than 1, it's awesome because you just count everything. Everything is considered significant. Zeros, digits, whatever. If you have a number less than 1, like this, basically the beginning zeros are not significant. You go to your first number and then you count from there. at your first non-zero. So for this one, it's always the zeros at the end that aren't significant, and for this one, it's always the zeros at the front that aren't significant. Simple as that. Okay. Practice.